Pete, what really sparked you into saying, you know what, I want to get into cannabis, because you've done some awesome shit with marketing and communications. You work with the Grammys, you help put on with do stuff for the Super Bowl. So like, what makes a person go, you know what, fuck it, I want to get in the Florida cannabis industry. I want to get into something at the ground level.
Well, honestly, it was kind of serendipitous. First of all, I was born on 420. That's my birthday, right? So I kind of had to do this, right? I had no real choice. And then, when I was a kid, like in '93, I went to something called the Pot Parade in New York City, and
Cool.
Cypress Hill played. Like you start in Washington Square Park, and then you march up Fifth Avenue to Central Park. And the way they got you to march up Fifth Avenue to Central Park was to tell you that there was going to be a helicopter on the Great Lawn of Central Park dropping joints out of it. So that's how you get a bunch of people that love weed to march up to Central Park. So that was my first experience with activism. And then I got my, my corporate gig, the Westwood One gig, the marketing gigs and stuff. I actually, it's funny you mentioned the food earlier. One of the reasons that I left that career is because I got really disillusioned with what I was doing. I was helping market food, right? I was a lot of the stuff that I worked with was, Procter and Gamble, Nestle. It was actually a Nestle campaign I was working on where for drumsticks, and you can't call them ice cream. You have to call them an ice creamy treat because technically it is not ice cream. And I was like, I'm done with this. Like, and my son had just been born, and I was like, I'm done with this. I can't put this evil out into the world anymore. I'm going to go and do ethical marketing and move to Florida. And that was really hard. Getting into ethical marketing was really hard. But luckily, my brother knew this guy, this eccentric guy who had just sold his company, his telecom company, Tom Quigley. And Tom Quigley wanted to start a cannabis company. And we decided, let's start the Florida Cannabis Coalition here in Florida, take, kind of my expertise and put it to use for good. So now I'm actually able to do stuff, tap into that marketing stuff, tap into, all of the advertising and stuff that I know that I all figured out while I was taking mushrooms, by the way. And I can do good with it. I can help people. I can have a purpose as opposed to just putting advertising out there. So that's really why, how I got into this. And I am incredibly, incredibly blessed to have met Tom, to have met Carlos and you, Chris, and everybody in this community.